Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Souliatos, brought to you by his huge book, over 700 pages, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, and PED use, available on Amazon.com. And you should also get my book if you're on Amazon, Real Bodybuilding. What a great book. Now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Souliatos. Welcome, George.
Hi, Ron. Have a nice week.
Yeah, we had a good day
yesterday
yesterday.
we had a new qualification. And Chris, I mean, he was a big name, but I like a lot this Croatian guy. How you call it?
Let's see. So we had the top five was Michael Krizo.
Presti was running up and was really tight. I mean, Presti was good.
And then there was a Brazilian guy, third place is Wellington Fernando Baptista. They call him Nescau. Then fourth place was a 21-year-old kid from Spain, Jose Manuel Moniz. They call him Josema. And fifth, Roman Fritz. So really good top five.
This guy running up, he finished sixth. So it's Clancy. Yeah, I was expecting Clancy to be super close. And I mean, he looked good in this abdominal pose, but I don't know what's going on in the rear shots. Krizo, I think it was at his best, more defined than last year, I guess. Yep. Very nice human anatomy, symmetry. And I guess this year he will aim for top 10. He was 12th last year.
I mean,
but very good, very nice structure. I assume
top six.
It's very tight. Top 10 for European guys.
Yeah.
Very promising. And I think he's a rising star now,
Yeah. And, you were just talking about, he had a whole other career in that other IFBB. He was winning everything. And then he humbled him. I know there was nobody to compete against, but he humbled himself. He had to turn pro all over again last year. He did that. He won the amateur Olympia.
So I guess this was the greatest turnover in the history of the MPC.
Yeah, best crossover. And his back, I think he's improved his back a lot already since last year. His rear double bicep shot.
Decent size, yeah. Supreme definition. He looks like his definition and this pop 3D, but he's much smaller, of course. But never mind, because he's at his best. I think he was 2011 when he was his smallest version.
I mean, Phil Heath was amazing in his prime. He was amazing. Yeah. But Krizo, good job, Krizo.
And he's super lucky because Krizo just competed in his home, in Europe. He didn't go overseas into the deep water to face against the Americans.
True, that's true. But I think he would have won a few shows I've seen this year already. I won't say which ones. He would have won them anyway, even if they had been in the U.S. or Canada. He's very, very good. Don't get it wrong. So I'm excited to see him move up at the Olympia this year.
And actually, he's the current cover of MD.
He's the current, or I think Blessing is the cover after that.
Yeah, Blessing. I'm sorry. Yeah, Blessing is in June. And Prison was in May.
It was a great cover. That his crabmost muscular, this chest, his shoulders, just so dense, striated. Yeah, that's what Giles and I did the coverage yesterday, and we're saying he doesn't have that look where people put too much oil in there, because you can see every fiber, all the stripes and separations like you should. Where some of these guys, it's kind of just not a lot going on, not a lot of muscle definition, just raw size like a lump. So anyway, congrats to Krizo. Let's go into some questions. That's why we're here. It's Ask Dr. T time. Hey doc, I did not have sleep apnea until after starting anabolics. I'm currently using a CPAP machine to treat my sleep apnea. Outside of weight gain caused by using anabolics, which contribute to sleep apnea, what other reasons would anabolics contribute to worsening sleep apnea, and what recommendations do you have to counter this? I'm not overly large, but my neck size has definitely increased from anabolics. I heard you speak about testosterone increasing red blood cells, polycythaemia. Would attempting to treat these issues assist with treating sleep apnea? Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
So actually, sleep apnea leads to erythrocytosis because you have less oxygen to the tissues, to the brain and to the tissues, and that kicks EPO from the kidneys, and then it kicks also your hematocrit. So on top of this, you have also the testosterone that induces as well erythrocytosis, secondary erythrocytosis. So you have two factors, and if it's smoking also, you have three factors. So in order to avoid, how's it linked now to steroids? Because your neck is thickening along with gaits and heavy weight training, and then the bigger your neck, the narrow the airways, the oropharynx, the oral part of the pharynx that goes into the larynx and to the trachea, and this narrowing of the air pathways makes a turbulence flow during when you sleep, and this turbulence flow leads to the malignancy of the breathing, which is called snoring, and snoring then will lead to sleep apnea. So the way to avoid sleep apnea is sleep on your left side to avoid the jaw drop of the jaw, because when you're sleeping this way, the jaw drops, and then you have subconsciously the snoring, and so sleeping on the left or the right side, but left is better because of the position of the heart. Yeah. You avoid the drop of the lower mandible, which is the jaw. Then the other thing, of course, is lose weight. But I've seen snoring also in fitness guys. When I was sharing a room in somebody in FIBO, he was around 180 pounds, but he was snoring horribly. And then also, of course, the cpap that applies to obese people, and it's much improvement. The point is how easy you can sleep with the cpap mask. Now, if you have already sleep apnea, perhaps you should lower your testosterone dose or perform microdosing and avoid everything that leads to exercise. That is, do a smaller amount of testosterone weekly, microdosing this amount, use fish oil and aspirin, use pentoxiflin, and perhaps ARB to prevent the hemoglobin elevation. And of course, do therapeutic phlebotomy or blood donation, but no more frequent than 2 months.
I actually have a solution that I found because I have snoring and sleep apnea, even though I'm not that heavy anymore. I bought one of those chairs about 9 months ago, like a lazy boy where you push the button and it goes all the way back, but my head is up like around this angle. So, because if I try to sleep flat, my airway closes, but this keeps me up at about this angle and I can breathe no problem. But
30 degrees. Huh?
I don't get this. I don't sleep in bed with my wife most of the time now. I'm in that couch downstairs. I'm on that chair downstairs, but I breathe.
So you sleep on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's a whole other room. It's down in the finished basement. I got this giant fan blowing on my face. Good.
This is because of the. You know the. You don't have arguments or fights.
No. It's a snoring.
You don't say. After 30 years of marriage,
32 years in a few days. Wow. Yeah. What's this, the 19th? 10 more days. It'll be 32 years of marriage. Wow. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's change the subject. Dr. T, have you seen any literature regarding aspirin causing a slowing of the excretion of testosterone esters, thereby increasing the free T whilst on TRT?
No, I have no idea about this. Aspirin is a blood thinner that enhances also the ephedrine metabolism, but nothing to do with, aspirin prevents the prostaglandins, and in this way, it deactivates the platelets. But metabolically with the hormones, no. I have no clue about it.
We would have heard about it by now somewhere. Somebody would have been talking about this. Next one, very simple question. Does low estrogen mean low prolactin?
I don't think so necessarily. Prolactin, there are certain reasons elevating prolactin, like low thyroid, stress, insomnia, high cortisol, and marijuana, weed, okay. SSRIs as well. Now, estrogens elevate out of alcohol, obesity, soy consumption, of course, anabolic steroid use. So, not necessarily when one elevates the other as well.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All politics aside, and when somebody says that, okay, did the development of the COVID vaccine include people on TRT in the clinical trials? Also, in your opinion, would there be any increased risk for taking the vaccine or boosters while on TRT as far as blood clotting? It was mandatory for me to take it. I understand if you can't touch this question.
Of course, I will answer this question because I'm an advocate of vaccines. I had 5 shots of mRNA between January 2021 and December 2022. And I was on TRT and nothing happened. Of course, I'm telling that clotting tendency happens when you have high estrogens, high hematocrit, high fibrinogen, high homocysteine. Okay? These are factors that may contribute to thrombotic event. You know, stasis, of course, we don't move that much. Okay? Now, my girlfriend never had a shot so far. I kicked her out of the house when she had COVID. I told her, go to your house for 5 days in the quarantine because I don't want you to infect my mother because my mother has cancer. Now, she told me that her cousin had a thrombotic stroke, something like this. Okay. Now, an airplane crashes once in a year. That means that we have to stop using the airplane. Really? Okay. Anyway, it could be, and certainly if you're using steroids, because steroids, of course, elevate fibrinogen, elevate more estrogens. If they aromatize, elevate more hematocrit. So it could be more possible if you're in a steroid cycle to have more higher likely to have clotting phenomena, you know?
That makes sense. All right, next one is 0.5, a half an IU of HGH used daily for 3 years. Would that improve tendon strength?
Yes, absolutely. I think in the long run, it will, because this is what GH do. It strengthens the collagen fiber, connective tissue, along with vitamin C, and also chondroblasts that are the premature cells that synthesize and make cartilage. But in the long run, I mean, GH is a hormone that works through months.
Cool. Next one. After my pituitary tumor was removed 3.5 years ago, I lost 100% of my libido. I'm on testosterone, GH, thyroid, hydrocortisone, DHEA, and pregnine alone. Still, my libido is 0. Do you have any answers?
Well, frankly, no. I have no answer to this, but I need to see labs. I mean, this guy is taking a full pack HRT, but I don't understand why there's no libido. I need to see evidence. So total free testosterone, so that prolactin, DHEAS. All right, and you know, 0 libido means no sex drive, no desire of having sex. That is something related to the testosterone levels.
Right.
It's not about the blood flow in the penis. That is erectile dysfunction. Okay, so I want to see some labs to be more specific.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine somebody with high normal testosterone levels not having any libido at all. That doesn't make sense. But we don't know what his levels are. He just says he's on it. Okay, it's time for you to talk about glute exercises, doctor. Here we go. What is a good glute exercise for a woman who cannot do squats or weighted lunges due to knee and lower back problems?
Yeah, this is very fancy and popular, very notorious exercises. So hip thrust.
Thrust, yeah.
That I'm never doing. I tried it a few times, but I don't feel comfortable doing this. It hurts my pelvis.
You do it with the bar, where you put the bar across your waist?
Yeah. I mean, it hurt my bones, but I used to do it a long time because it was invented. You know, I mean, 2010, I was using a 45-pound plate. I was doing with one leg, you know, unilateral, you know, one leg at a time.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, like a kick. You know, it's like the kickback.
Oh, like we had a machine called a butt blaster. It was just like a donkey kickback with your foot, where you're down like this and your legs behind you, pushing up.
But yeah, also hyperextensions. I'm sorry, hyperextensions.
Yeah.
Good mornings, and also abductions. Eat the glutes.
I would think even leg press with your feet higher up and a little wider on the platform, pushing with the heels. That's going to get a lot of glutes. We actually have hip thrust machines. Do you guys have hip thrust machines now? Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Panada does and everything. Yeah. So
and also uphill 15% walking.
Yeah, there you go. If you don't get a butt from that, maybe you're not supposed to get a butt. Okay. Let's go back to the 70s. It seems like 1970s bodybuilders took a lot of pharmaceutical Dball, but we don't hear about them having any liver damage. Today's underground Dball damages the liver. Is some contaminant in the underground pills that damages the liver?
Could be also, but I think back then they were not abusing a massive stack of anabolic steroids. There are not many back then, like now that we have several different steroids in a stack of something inoculated, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the doses back then, I don't think the
And the
average
doses, of course.
yeah, but I mean, even Dball, I mean, John Balick from Iron Man, I don't know if you know who he is, but he used to train with Arnold and those guys back. And then he said his dose was like one Dball, one 5 milligram Dball a day, like one. Jeez, it's nothing.
Arnold's?
No, this is John Balick. Arnold claims he took 3. Remember, he took 15
Yeah, I
milligrams.
remember that question. Yeah.
When average guys these days take 50 or 60 for Winstrol or Dball or Anadrol, whatever it is they're taking. So yeah. Oh boy, here's a good question. How can I travel with Overtrel HCG, given the fact that it has to be kept at low temperatures in a freezer? What if I travel by plane? I'm on HRT doing 3 days a week HCG, so I can't miss my shots if I travel. Oh no.
Of course you can miss your shots for 1 or 2 weeks. Doesn't mean you're going to become sterilized, okay? I don't think within 2 weeks you're going to have shrinkage of your testicles.
Yeah.
So do a double dose, let's say 1,000 IUs, take also an aromatase inhibitor along with your testosterone on the day of the trip.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is enough for the 1 week. And then for the second week, if you're living, if you're missing, then okay, you can live with that, no problem. You don't become sterile just like that.
I mean, I went to Australia for 2 weeks. I took my last shot, a big shot, right before I left. I was fine. I was starting to feel toward the very end, things were a little bit off, just a little
So
tiny bit.
How much did you shot? 250 in once?
The day before I left, I think I did like 500.
Wow, man.
To last me 2 weeks.
This could be risky because you spike the estrogens.
Well, it was
and also, this long trip along with the estrogens may favor some flooding. Huh?
Well, thank God I was okay.
0.5 gram, man. Wow, man.
Well,
you felt super horny, huh?
That's for 2 weeks. Yeah, the first couple days. Yeah. Wow, we're still on HCG. One guy wants to know, can HCG be faked? My suppliers give me Greek HCG, Pregnil, and sometimes I feel it's not working the way Overtrel, pharma-grade HCG, is working. So I'm wondering, can Greek HCG from Merck, Sharp, and Dome be faked?
There's not such a brand in Greece. It's only the HCG is coming from Orbital and back, and also the Organon used to produce the Pregnil. So we don't have any alternative like this. But simply you can take a pregnancy test, drop on the droplet on this stick, and the other method is, of course, check out your blood test.
It's not crazy. So HCG, real HCG, if you put it on a pregnancy test like a drop of urine,
of course, because this is why it identifies in women. The HCG will predict the pregnancy.
That's awesome. Pregnancy test for bodybuilder.
Okay. And sometimes GAs expect HCG, and you can verify this by this test.
I think that happens a lot more often because HCG is a lot cheaper than growth hormone. Okay, this guy says, I take 0.4 ml testananthate every 4 days, along with 500 IU HCG and half a pill of Arimidex for the last 3 years. Blood work looks good. My question is, if I cut out the HCG, will it affect my erection? Oh, no.
Yeah, HCG now is a libido enhancer because it increases the intratesticular testosterone. So it can make the difference when people are using testosterone for a long time and they have suppression in the, and shrinkage in the testicles. So you can unblock, the dead libido. You can give it a kick with HCG within TRT.
Crazy. All right, next one is, I'm on HRT and my LDL is 181, HDL 35 with a total cholesterol of 219. What dose of rosuvastatin should I take to bring it down below 100? Should I take it every other day like Dr. O'Connor says? And then another question about statins.
Connor takes 10 milligrams every other day, which equals the 5 milligrams I'm taking on a daily basis, because I think they don't have the 5 milligram in the US that we have here. So follow this 5 milligram. And on top of this, you may use some red rice, give 600 milligrams with meals. And follow Mediterranean diet with almonds, with, no almonds, walnuts, olive oil, sardines, salmon, and avocado. And mainly, yeah, your problem is the LDL, not that much the total cholesterol, but usually they follow one each other. So try this for 1 month and check it out again.
So the second part of the question at the very end was, will statins increase my risk of Alzheimer's or diabetes?
Listen, if you don't use statins, you're more likely to have a heart attack before developing an Alzheimer's. You know? Now, diabetes, listen, yeah, they can increase A1C. That's why you shouldn't eat junk.
Well, that's why my A1C is a little high. It's probably from the statins.
Well, no, because of the GH also.
No, I haven't had GH in a couple months. I ran out. So it must be the statins because I just had blood work and my A1C was a little high. Interesting. Okay. This is a great question because a lot of people assume taking a certain amount of testosterone, whatever, is going to lead to a certain look on a physique. So this guy wants to know, how can I have a total testosterone of 3,000 and just look like a regular guy? What am I doing wrong? Is it because I have bad genetics, or is it because my body needs even more testosterone to put some serious muscles on? I'm 40 years old on HRT, 400 milligrams of testosterone a week. My height is 1.8 meters, 1.80 meters, and I weigh only 85 kilograms, looking like a normal dude who goes to the gym. Wow.
Well, I have no idea. Many guys complain about their physique, but when they ask them, what have you eaten so far, they said nothing. And it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And besides, I don't know what time to sleep because some of them stay up all night and cortisol eats their muscles and make them belly fat, and also how they train. Okay, so these are the most important factors. Certainly, you don't need more testosterone. When you have 3,000, you're like a porn star. I mean, 3,000 testosterone equals 200 milligrams perhaps per week. So you look like a regular dude because I guess you don't eat properly for years and you don't play consistently for years.
Yeah, I mean, you have to train very hard, good form, get stronger, eat a lot of good food. I mean, having a testosterone level of X amount doesn't mean anything.
I told you there was a guy that he was shooting 1 vial every day.
Oof.
Yeah. He was fat. He was fat, overweight, and his arm was just 17 inches. 17.
And fat.
Okay. Doesn't mean anything that just you're abusing stuff. It doesn't make it bigger out of nowhere. You need the stimulus. Stimulus is break down the muscle and feed it. Come on.
Yeah. I think I've asked you this before. What's the highest testosterone total that you've ever heard of? Somebody testing out.
Something to take about the certain point. Even at 3,000, it's not. They say over 2,000, nothing else, because it's actually the double amount of the norm, the highest normal, which is 1,000.
Somebody told me they had a 10,000 total testosterone one time. I said, I don't even know if that's possible.
Yeah, I think in Dallas Montgomery was 15,000, something like.
Oof, wow, supposedly. Wow. We just talked about A1C. My hemoglobin A1C is 5.3%. My hematocrit is 53.7 while on HRT. I'm taking berberine, omega 369, vitamin E, vitamin K2, stinging nettle root, and NAC. Shouldn't these be enough to lower A1C and hematocrit? Do I have insulin resistance? Is it because of the statins? Also, having a hematocrit of 53.7 means my blood is thick and it's dangerous. How can I fix this? Thank you.
First of all, the hematocrit doesn't tell the truth. The hemoglobin tells the truth. Even your hematocrit is 54. It's up to the upper range of a guy. I mean, if it's 18, your hemoglobin, then you are within the range. If it's 18.5, then you should blood donate. We said in the previous part of the episode how to avoid erythrocytosis, what things you should avoid and do. But also speaking about 5.3 is not that much. After 5.5, yeah, you have to start, ringing the bell that something's going on. The statins could be a factor. Personally, I'm taking statins, but my A1C is below 5. So avoid the junk food, lower the carbs, and consume more fiber, animal protein. But you need to tell me about your hemoglobin, because if you're dehydrated, the hematocrit goes up and it's not reliable. All right.
Cool. Well, that's it.
To
That's all
me, so far, it's acceptable. This.
Okay.
All
So
right. But
really
if it's still, I mean, accurate hematocrit with an 80 hemoglobin, okay, you can start taking an aspirin now. And the macrodose and fish oil and things like that. You can do blood donation and above the A1C. I mean, berberine doesn't work like the metformin. Seriously now.
How bad does it have to be, the hematocrit, before somebody is put on a blood thinner like Coumadin?
Blood thinner. I mean, it's either aspirin or fish oil.
Okay.
Curcumin is anti-inflammatory, turmeric. But I mean, I usually recommend over 50% in aspirin, over 17 hemoglobin. And I'm taking myself a year around with the aspirin. And I'm saying that when your hemoglobin goes over 18, you should definitely do a blood donation.
Okay. All right. That's it for this week. Yeah, great. We have a bunch of questions. We have a lot more questions in the summer. Huh? Have you noticed? We get a lot more questions in the summer. Have you noticed?
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm having an article about Steve Blackman, because I'm gonna have next week about you and another week about recall, because you're a separate chapter on biography.
Oh boy, I can't wait to read the one about me. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool, man. I want to read this book. I mean, I've read the other books too, but this is more of like a bio. It's more like your life story.
You should also write your story.
No, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I'm retired, because some people might get angry at the things I say. So gotta wait till I don't have to worry about that.
You have stuff in the basement?
Well, I mean, I got people that have dirt on me. I have dirt on people. I wouldn't put anybody's personal business out there to get them in trouble. I would never do that.
You don't need to. You don't have to mention names, but
you have stories. Yeah, I got
some directly. Stories.
I'll think about it. Yeah.
I mean, this is biography. It's about truth,
Yeah.
But in a delicate way.
Oh boy. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to reading that when it's all done.
So, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, if you have questions for Dr. Touliatos, please leave them in the comments below. Don't go to old shows and put comments. We never go back and look at those. It's got to be on the newest episode. So put those down there. We'll be glad to get there. Any feedback you have, we'd love to get that. Subscribe to the channel. If you like these videos, hit the like, the thumbs up, share them on your social media platforms. We appreciate it. We're very, very fortunate every week to have Dr. Touliatos answering questions. One of the few doctors in this entire world with the amount of experience and knowledge of somebody who's walked the walk and talked the talk. It's a rare thing. So thank you, doctor, as always, every week. And that's it. Thanks for watching Ask Dr. T. We'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.